solid player, so it should hopefully be a fun, entertaining match here.
Yep, here we go. We're using what is considered the nightly flags. These are the regularly run flags throughout the entire game. So there's going to be really nothing special all the way. We're dealing with the first quest overworld. We're going to be dealing with first quest dungeon mechanics, which is obviously the usual thing with regards to our first things. It's wood sword right at the start here,
Oh,
Fred.
that's no fair. That is no fair. Dang, I thought I randomized that a bit more. Shoot.
Well, it's always good to have a sword at the 15-minute in, and this is something you guys may have seen in the tournament. Obviously, the enemy shuffles here. We've got Dark Nuts and Lionels in perfect harmony here, and we do see Edagino's trying to tackle down a red Dark Nut for that bomb chance here.
Yeah, the first in the bomb dropping group, the first item that you see
ladder
dropped
is the Armos item.
Oh boy, and this could be even more fun. Ladder's one of the biggest blocks that we see in dungeons, and even blocks an item on the overworld. With these flags, the odds are a bit higher. It's going to be a heart that's blocking, but you never know exactly what you're going to see here.
And that means we have another free item. That's the one that's on the coast, isolated, taking the death. Adaginos is heading right straight for that Armos, so he will have that ladder as well.
Yeah, we got Raikou. Oh my gosh, Lionels and Darknuts in the overworld. Oh gosh, this is an ugly overworld.
Oh, we find Zone 9. How about that for one of the new changes?
Yeah, we did add in the capability for certain the word level to potentially be changed. I know Lack Attack, the world record holder, will be very happy with the fact that board is an option, but there's also some other random ones. So Zone is the random one of choice in tonight's seed.
We do have 112 rupee hints here, or rather top secret, which is always good to see. In the secrets, they're usually, there's no major difference for the secrets here. They're going to be the 0 through 20, 25 through 40, or 50 to 150.
Have some crazily large ranges. That 112 is going to be good for our runners. They'll probably still be able to purchase some convenient items here without too much trouble.
So all of these runners are hoping to get themselves a sword at some point. Sorry for the inconvenience. Looks like that's going to be our door repair charge. As Krim ends up taking damage from the darkness to get himself around. Raikou Rider doing a little bit of searching, and Adaginos is about to find level 9. We found ourselves a candle shop. It's right over at the Armos southeast of 2. Our runners that don't have any money, they're the ones who are finding the candle shop. The ones who had the money, they're not finding it.
Nope, they're running around just trying to get lucky, and they've been taking a few turns here. Again, we're running the black bracket flags here. I'm having issues speaking this evening, but you're going to be seeing, therefore, hit point shuffle at least a little bit. It's plus or minus, I believe, 2 hit points. So you'll see some of the Octoroks sometimes taking a little bit more damage than other enemies.
Find ourselves an arrow shop. Arrows are a top value at 100 rupees.
And that could be annoying. I mean, especially with these shuffle of enemies, you may see more Pole's voice in the dungeons than you normally would. So finding those arrows can potentially be a very important thing. As again, fortunately, we're lucky that they have enough money to be able to afford them if they need to. But it definitely can be a little bit risky here. It can be a little pricey.
Isolated got to be careful of the rocks here as he gets ready to head up here to the Armos area. Would love to pick up that ladder, the last of these featured runners, and there he does see the ladder. Has to be careful now just of the Armos should just be able to push south, get that ladder. Doesn't matter if he takes the death.
Yeah, in the up A to go back to start knowing that he was likely to die anyway, but very happy with that reward. Oh, here we go. Seeing Crimson enter to Zone 8 here in the upper left, and entering on the left side, if you notice the dot of his sprite, that's pretty much dead center in the middle. That's in like the 5th column there.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting start here. You do not come in from the bottom, so this is a very interesting way, and it's always at this point still a little jarring when you walk into a dungeon and you can't push up because you're so used to pushing up. The only way you can go is to the right.
Yeah, it just happens to work out. It depends on the dungeon that you're entering in terms of the direction, but I know myself anyway, I still just walk into the dungeon just by default. Okay, I'm entering a dungeon, I tend to hold up. And there will be some of these dungeons that you might see a runner just end up accidentally exiting, and just because of that, just they'll hit hold up, and oh look, they're back out of the dungeon.
There's something that we just saw on Raikou Rider's screen. That diamond, that spiral staircase doesn't normally require you to kill all the enemies to drop an item, but it does now.
Yes, I forgot about that little tidbit as well that got added in. So one thing that we've been working on, one thing a lot of players had noted in the past was, oh yeah, the dungeon items when you're in a staircase, normally in a staircase room, in like second quest you might find that some of them drop stuff, but in the first quest they're usually just laying out. And when we made the shapes algorithm, I kind of at the time just had everything laying out, and with the change to the map algorithm, I also realized, okay, probably be easier to make things more consistent there. So stair rooms can potentially, if it's an open staircase like the spiral room, the diamond room, or the corridor stair, they can potentially drop an item if you clear all the enemies now.
Oh, we find the recorder in level 8.
Oh, beautiful. That's a useful item. We still have a first quest overworld, so technically the only benefit that it will unlock for us is vanilla level 7, but it's an item I always love to have. It's my favorite item to find, period, because if I find that item, it means that I can always come back to a dungeon later. I can play a lot more risky in terms of just grabbing a Triforce and getting out of dodge.
By the way, what exactly would you consider this inkblot that Crim's in level 8?
It almost looks like a deranged space invader. I mean, I can see like the head of something like coming to eat, like almost a monster coming to try to eat something there. The two empty spots being the eyes and its mouth just underneath it. So I'm kind of seeing a space invader.
There's the Triforce in level 8, and it looks like Crim's trying to avoid that right now because he wants to find the 3 items of level 8. We do know that one of the items is going to be the recorder. We saw that Raikou ended up picking that up and ended up leaving. Probably because Raikou saw the whiz robes and wanted to get out of dodge, which is totally understandable. And he's 4 rupees short of the candle, unfortunately.
Still hasn't. Did he find the big secret and just buy something else? I can't remember.
He has not been that direction yet.
Yep. So that's the reason that he's just a tad short there. But at some point, he will definitely be collecting that. As we see the runners continue to wander around Hyrule here, and hopefully we'll see some more dungeons come up pretty soon here besides that giant inkblot. Interesting thing about that inkblot to me is just trying to figure out exactly what level 7 is going to look like, because I was mentioning earlier they all share a grid, and level 7 and 8 share the same 8x8 grid. So if you know the map for level 8, you can usually surmise what level 7 is going to look like, plus or minus a room or two. That's going to be a fun level 7.
Isolated finds Zone 1, and of the 4 featured runners, Ada Genos is using the board setting. Everyone else is on Zone tonight.
Yeah, so you have the choice by default, at least right now, of level or board, and then there's a random one which is going to, in this case, default everyone over to Zone for tonight's seed. But I'll probably make more of those available in the drop-down menu, so that way people have more options to work with. Oh, lovely Wizrobe sitting here in level 1, so this is going to be fun. Level 1, again, normally would have 2 items in level 1. You'd normally find 1 in the staircase, 1 on the floor. With this Dungeon Heart Shuffle that we now have, we're going to have 3 items total, 2 on the floor and 1 down a set of stairs. So it's going to be a lot more murdering of sweet, innocent enemies here as they're trying to get through here.
And here, Isaac's trying to be careful. We got Wizrobes here. You don't want to take that last tip, but we're down to a half a heart. And a staircase room where he wants to be able to get that item. He does get through, and his reward, well, that's a blue boomerang. I believe the price was wrong for Isaac in that case.
Yes, it was, and it's okay. It's still 2 items potentially available here, so Isolated's gonna have to wander around a lot of key doors here. Unfortunately, level 1 just naturally has a lot of key doors, so you're gonna see runners potentially running into issues. That's a tendency you get normally in any level 1, is you got risks of a lot of key doors, which actually will make this very interesting if you start using this dungeon entrance setting on the vanilla shapes, because Normally, you've got that bottleneck right at the start of level 1, for example, where there's normally a whole bunch of key doors, and 1 or 2 of them tend to end up there as you're entering from the feet. Oh, as we find a bow in the dungeon or in the staircase in level 4 here. But typically, typically when you're going up when you're going up the level 1, you got a couple of key doors there, kind of can potentially block your way. Coming to the eagle, and it's a lot easier to just, in this case now, maybe you come in on the top, you can avoid some more of those key doors. So actually, just some interesting changes, definitely.
Now, we may be bow blocked from being able to get to the Triforce in level 4, which means Raikou would have to come back with the arrow in hand, because we don't know what the silver arrows are going to be. They, for all we know, could still be in level 9.
Correct. There's actually another feature that we haven't talked about yet that is you will not see in this race necessarily. Not necessarily. This won't happen in this race. This flag was not turned on, but one additional flag that we've added for this level set has been the capability, or that in this new version will be allowing for important items to potentially be in level 9, or outside of, or to be in level 9, which means if you don't require the ladder to get all the Triforces that you need to enter level 9, the ladder could be in level 9. Normally, there's certain items that are gated to prevent you from, or to make sure that you can complete everything. But if you want to have a more adventurous seed now, we're giving you the option to be able to do that, and so that can hopefully give a lot of fun here.
Oh, we find one of the staircases in 8 leads you to the heart container, as Krim ended up killing off the Dig Dogger to find out that block is not pushing.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun thing here in level 8. Again, you're going to find a lot more heart containers now. So there will be a number of dungeons that you're going to find that are going to just be absolutely nothing as you're playing through them. You'll get a couple of hearts in them. So it can definitely reward the combat of trying to kill enemies on the ground, but at the same time, you definitely have to weigh the risks of where you're going to do your searching to try to be most efficient.
So we find Zone 2, and Zone 2 winds up having some great enemies inside as well. As Adagino's finding yet another heart container.
And those heart containers are still important. That white sword shop, which again, still probably more likely to be a sword, is up on the coast somewhere, but it's most likely to have a heart container rather, just because of the abundance of heart containers that are now present. But you don't know exactly what you're going to find where, and having those extra hearts will guarantee that he'll be able to get the whatever that white sword item is, should it turn out to be something useful.
Ooh, cheap hints for Raikou Rider, but doesn't have enough in order to purchase them.
As I'll say, he may come back over here if he gets the a little bit extra money here, finds one of those large secrets. We've seen one of them, but there's 3 in the normal first quest map, so we'll be seeing a bunch more of them come up here reasonably soon, hopefully.
Oh, we got a triple segmented level 2.
Ooh, boy, that is a fun map. It's not really good. I'm trying to figure out if there's a good shape for them. Again, it looks like another Space Invader style thing. I must just have Space Invader on the brain. But you notice you actually start in the top portion of that level 2. You actually start way up at the top there. And then you have to work your way around.
This shape actually looks like a bad Tetris player.
I could see that. Almost reminds me of some of those Tetris 2 pieces almost.
Right,
ones that potentially have the broken pieces in the middle.
Raikou playing the money-making game and ends up taking out some money. So we're going to get some hints here. We find the rafting too.
Rafts can definitely be a useful one. It's not the one players most of the time want to see, because if you, again, it only unlocks 2 dungeons, but then if one of those 2 dungeons gives you what you need. Ooh, and Raikou taking 2 community hints there. So not what he was looking for. He was hoping to actually get some useful information there.
We're still searching for the items in the second item in level 2. Don't forget there's going to be 2 floor drops now with the addition of the additional heart drop.
Oh yeah, so you'll be seeing 2 hearts, 1 Triforce, Partridge, and a Pear Tree probably will be showing up here reasonably soon. And you've got gels, which are really annoying tonight because they've got 2 hit points, and it seems like they never really figured out exactly what they wanted to do in terms of knockback of those enemies. So you see them like bounce away from you, but incredibly slowly because they were never designed to actually have enough health to get knocked back.
They're not as annoying as those Tektites that like to just warp wherever they feel like it.
Oh gosh, yeah, those are bad. Oh, and let's see here if Isolated can get lucky. Oh, Dodongo being a bit mean there to him because, you know, he needed to be able to kill that Dodongo in order to... He only had 1 bomb, and that Dodongo is just rude.
That's the nature of the game, though.
That's true. It's interesting seeing, you know, where everyone is exploring. We got Agent all the way up already up in Death Mountain. You've got Krim working through the dead woods here and stuff, and ooh, Raikou Rider finding probably one of the best early items to find, the magical key in the staircase there in 5.
And Edgino's finding a level up on Death Mountain right there, the top northwest corner, level 7 or board 7. We get the red candle, Fred!
Hey, at least I didn't put it. It wasn't in the staircase this time. Give me a little bit of points there for that, please.
Okay, we'll give you 12 points for that.
And we'll got it, mercy on my soul.
I guess so.
Okay, phew. Good thing they got that early recorder too here.
We see Isolated here trying to farm for some bombs. We see Raikou Rider continuing through here. It's just, as you mentioned, Book is the white sword item by a lake.
Oh boy. You won't be seeing any of the players take that one in most likelihood if they come in. You know, especially with that red candle for free, the blue candles being reasonably priced. Yeah, they're just gonna take that and run because, unfortunately, this is not one of those boomstick seeds where the book actually does useful stuff.
By the way, name that ink blot for level 7.
Oh boy.
By the way, it looks like Raikou Rider ended up getting the red ring.
Ooh, now that is a great find. Quadruple defense. I mean, he's in amazing shape here. He's got, you know, almost everything at this point, really, unless one of the levels is power bracelet blocked. Please don't let this be a commentator's curse or anything, even though I'd love to see that. He's actually, the only thing he really needs is the silvers. He's in great shape. And finding levels, obviously, and Triforces. Minor details like that, you know.
So this is one of the interesting things, is just watching as people... Oh! Isolated taking a death to the Dodongo.
That is painful. At least now he does know though that he's gonna have to clear this annoying staircase room here in order to get that Triforce. So facing a nice combination there of Wizrobes that just spring out of nowhere to zap you for 4 hearts, the blue ones being a pain in the bottom, and then, you know, Moblins in there too with their semi-predictable arrow patterns.
And we get also the map for level 5 up here on the top.
I'm looking at a seahorse there for that one.
I like your answer. Krim finding level 1. You know who's going to have an easier time in level 1?
I can't imagine if that Krim would have a slightly easier time right now.
Well, Raikou's going to, because of all the key doors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know that any key is a little bit useful.
Nice use of the attempt to figure out what the enemy mechanics are. Gets the Triforce out of 5. That's actually the first Triforce we've seen for Raikou.
Yeah, it's true. I forgot. Yeah,
Silver arrows in 7.
Oh, that's a good find. And that's an interesting dungeon too, because level 7's just trying to get to the large enough point there that, well, are you going to take that risk? Although it looks like it's on the way to the Triforce here, so all the runners will be getting that at some point.
Oh, he has the wand, so that's the other item in level 2, besides the raft.
Ooh. So that could be interesting if players happen to find that. I mean, the wand essentially acts like the white sword. We don't know where that white sword's going to be important. We don't know where it's going to end up being. So That's definitely going to be a very useful item, hopefully, for them all to find.
So Adagino's picking up the Triforce in level 7, and that really helps Adagino's in the fact that he's already got the 2 largest dungeons taken care of at this point.
Oh, absolutely. The best possible combination here, getting those 2 dungeons out of the way. I mean, level 6 is really the only other dungeon of note here that, size-wise. So, 6 can probably be sometimes, won't be quite as big as 8 typically, but it's definitely usually on par with 7, if not maybe a little bit bigger. So, the fact he's got those 2 out of the way already is a really, really good thing for him. And he'll be making up, I think, a ton of time here as he finds those other dungeons.
So Krim going to use up some of his keys here. And again, this is a state where Raikou, when he gets over to level 1, is going to have some sort of advantage. As Krim goes ahead and finds that the Triforce is in this one room. And yeah, it's got a mixture of great enemies for all of us to enjoy.
Yeah, the nice thing, though, is, again, with the mixed enemy types, what you can potentially do is do a series of enters and exits, especially with this the blue moblin, a greenish-looking moblin in this case. The fact that he's got virtually no health, you can just keep entering and exiting until he finally is gone and, clear out a few of these enemies a bit easier. I mean, we've already got rid of a leg in the process of doing all this.
By the way, Raikou has found where the library exists along the lake, and Krim taking a death in level 1, Adagino's in level 2 will soon pick up the raft.
Oh yeah, so that'll be that will be a great find for him here. Again, we don't know if it's needed. Probably not, but we don't know. I mean, we've seen most of the levels here. I mean, I guess level 6 is still outstanding. 3, I think, is out. 3 and 6, I think, are still outstanding. But otherwise, we've seen most of the levels.
Yeah, 3.
But it only takes 1.
Yeah, 3 and 6 are the only 2 we have not seen so far.
All it takes is 1 wise guy, though.
All it takes is 1 wise guy with a good evening and thinking about stuff, and all of a sudden, here he goes loading some additional stuff as Sir Krim finishes off that room and now knows that, it uses the idea that if you do not leave the dungeon, though that room's going to stay dead. So he's going to continue to explore level 1, try to see if he can't find that next item here. Help, I'm trapped in a video game. And ouch to the old man.
That was rude of him. Why did you stab me like that?
Because you said he was trapped in a video game. We find level 2 for Raikou Rider, so he now will also be in the position to maybe find that raft. And because Raikou has the red ring, so he can withstand the damage as well.
Oh yeah. No, he's going to be in much better shape to handle some of the combat here. So this is going to be a much better level for him. And Krim making good work here. The Wizrobes trying to quickly run through here. Again, looking for that second item, whatever it's going to end up being. Again, 2 floor items here in the level. At least he's replenishing his key supply now that he's gone through most of the rooms here.
Yeah, and that's definitely helping out because this level otherwise has been kind of dissolving your keys fast and furious.
Oh yeah.
So Adagino's picks up the raft. He's the only one of these runners to get into 7 and pick up the silver arrows out of there. So
yeah.
Maybe a while before anyone else.
I expect once they all find it, they will hit it because it looked like it was directly on the path they'll have to take to get to the Triforce, but it's going to be a bit of a slog, maybe a bit of a while before they get up there. So I think that will give him a significant advantage in the fact that he may be able to Triforce and go a number of these dungeons a lot quicker than some of the other people here who will still be hunting for the silver arrows. I mean, it changes the dynamic considerably, forcing the adding the heart containers, because in the past people have done the quote-unquote saver metrics where they say, well, it's better to take a gamble going into level 9 because it's less likely to have the or it's more likely to have the silver arrows there. But now there's just so much extra fluff essentially with the dungeon hearts that the odds of the silver arrows being in 9 are significantly lower.
By the way, we did see the one of the floor drops in level 1. It turned out to be the wooden boomerang.
And considering the person who just found that, I'm really surprised we didn't see anything else happen with that.
I think he just glanced at it and just left without it.
Yeah. That makes sense. Nice thing is with that the set there we're discovering with Raikou in level 2 is the fact that at least one of these mixed sets of like moblin combos, the Wizrobes show up late. Oh, and that's where the wand is located, one room north of the Triforce. That will help out significantly Raikou Rider here for clearing that room out once he gets the compass and finds out that that's where the Triforce is going to be.
Yeah, you might not be in that mindset to clear out that room just yet, because in all honesty, up until this version, you were under the assumption that you never had to clear out a diamond staircase room to get a room drop.
Yeah. And it's one of those, again, it's a new little thing we've added in. We wanted to make sure that as I said, it came up mainly, I realized it was a good thing to add because with the new algorithm I did for the maps, I wanted to make sure that maps could end up, a little bit harder to find, maybe. Either a little deeper in the dungeon, a little bit more combat required, and as part of that, I was discovering, that was sometimes accidentally putting maps into staircase rooms. And I said, well, why can't we fight in the staircase rooms? So we did it.
Who's the sweet thing?
Okay, it may have been the royal we, but we'll go with it.
That's the first of the take-ins we've seen.
You're right. Yeah, they all seem to be well hidden today. And that fireball from the Zola there, just Raikou Rider got knocked up just as he was about to drop the fire to burn the bush there by the lake. Maybe the Zola was actually trying to cut him a deal there because it turned out it was just a door repair.
He's trying to push him away from it, but Raikou Rider wanting to make sure that he takes care of these spots. So there's Raikou getting the old information about the book. Krim visiting through here, just doing a little bit of searching. So just a couple of notes right now. Raikou Rider has the bow. That was in what level? I believe that was level 4. Yeah, it was in level 4.
Yeah, bow was in level 4, which will be a nice thing. Once the other runners find that should be a quick, easy pickup. Level 4 is still typically in the range where you're willing to make that play. Search the dungeon a bit further to try to find the items in it, and so therefore we should find that pretty easily. Then the silvers being in level 7 there, but again, normally a very scary dungeon for them to be in. At least in this case, they will be on the way to the Triforce. But the question becomes now, if that's all you need is the ladder, which you started with, the bow out of 4, and then the silvers in 7, who add to Geno's here will have a distinct advantage there, and the fact that as soon as he finds level 4, there's a decent chance he's going to be essentially in a Triforce and Go level mode for the rest of the game here. we're continuing along here.
Apparently we found where the letter is. Person hates paper cuts. Raikou finding something that he's trying to figure out what it is.
There we go. I think we're back.
Okay, good. Are you back?
I believe I'm back. I think we just had the lovely fun. It looks like we have confirmation that we are in fact now back. Lovely fun of occasional Discord hiccups. Those were always good times. But we are back here now as Isolated has in fact headed to the southwest corner of the map and discovered where level 4 is. So assuming that he doesn't have too much trouble finding the staircase, he will be very happy with the bow that he will find out of here.
Looks like Raikou Rider just continuing to figure out where things are at this point, as both Genos and Raikou Rider in level 1, they're still on a path to try to figure out where required items are. Genos needs to find the bow, Raikou needs to find the silver arrows. Isolated will be in where we will find the bow real soon.
Yes, he will, and it's gonna be an interesting combination. As I was saying, or I was trying to say there, the fact that it's gonna be really interesting to see Genos here, because if he finds that bow, pretty much at that point, unless one of these levels is under a power bracelet slot, he's going to be able to blitz the rest of the dungeons and get everything else there. But he does pick up the wooden boomerang there, unlike what Krim did.
That's an interesting decision at this point. And Isolated continuing through level 4, and Raikou Rider at this point trying to finish off this room, trying to find out what this is, and we'll be very unhappy to find that it is the wooden boomerang. Genos picking up the Triforce in 1.
So he's actually got a nice solid lead here in terms of the Triforces he's found. He has 4 Triforces, but on top of that, he's also gotten the Triforces out of 7 and 8. And again, as soon as he heads down to the Dead Woods and finds level 4, I mean, I guess the question will be how long it takes him to do that versus like Raikou, who's gonna how long he'll take to go up to Death Mountain for level 7. So it's really going to be the question that may decide who has the advantage coming into the game, coming into the end of this year.
Well, at this point, Raikou Rider has the defensive advantage at this point with Red Rain that was in level 5.
That is true. And Isolated now picking up that lovely bow, he will be able to handle any Pulse Voice. I don't think we've really seen many Pulse Voice up to this point, though.
You are right. We have not. They must be in levels 3 and 6.
Yeah, or possibly level 9, potentially. Could be getting a lot of those. They tend to be a little bit more common because I've noticed once in a while they can replace the Zols when the enemy shuffle happens, and Zols are actually shared across 2 different enemy groups. So sometimes you can see the Pulse Voice show up a bit more often than you would expect. Oh, and nice bomb upgrade. 101 rupees for 4 bombs. So it's it's slight minor inflation cost compared to the vanilla game, but yeah, can't blame the old man for trying to raise prices just a tiny bit.
Yeah, 1 rupee inflation. How about that?
If that's all the inflation's going to be, I would be reluctantly willing to accept that. Considering the old man's going to be giving me a 50% cut anyway. I wish he was actually charging a little bit more here.
So it looks like Isolated is still doing a little bit of searching here in this level 4, because he's still looking for the location of the floor drop here in level 4, but he did kill off the Goma. By the looks of things, it may not have been required to kill that Goma. You may have been able to bomb up from him, but I don't know if Isolated attempted to do that.
Yeah, I mean, within level 4, most walls, and I'll say it that way because it's obviously not all of them, but most walls in level 4, up there we go. Now we can see what the shape of the dungeon actually looks like. But most walls inside of level 4 tend to be traversable. Levels 1 through 3, I think virtually all of them end up being able to be bombed if there's 2 rooms between them, unless there's like a staircase in the way blocking you. But level 4 is where you start seeing some walls show up that might be a little bit harder to break through. And this case, might still be able to do that or not. We'll have to see. Looks like Krim may on his next pass through here may be giving it a shot to see if he can bomb north there. If not, that would be a really annoying little block there.
Definitely is. So what do you mean I'm funny?
Yes, for those of you guys who may have joined things a little bit late here, we are doing the beta randomizer here, so this is a showcase race of this, and give you a quick rundown of a couple of the new features that you're seeing these runners work with. One of the major ones you're seeing is that the heart containers that normally drop by bosses in the levels, those now are included in the dungeon item shuffle. So we've been seeing this here. We found the red candle on the floor in level 7. We found a couple of other items on the floor as well where we wouldn't expect them. Level 2 had both the wand and the raft in it. So we're getting some really fun, interesting combinations here, which are allowing our runners to be able to, again, have to clear more rooms potentially or potentially take more risks. All depends on what they're willing to do. We're also seeing slightly friendlier maps. We're seeing Krim get the lovely hint. The third hint that we didn't get from the grave here was the fact that the red candle is in level 7. So Raikou missed on that one hint, although he's probably not going to be too upset that he missed that hint because most of the time people won't care about the red candle hint and they'll find the red candle almost right away.
Yeah, that red candle is right immediately from the start.
Yep. And so the other main feature, some of you may have noticed as you're going here, if you notice when the runners are entering the dungeons, they're not necessarily entering from the bottom anymore. We were able to add that into the randomizer here as well to make things a bit more interesting for the runners in terms of their planning of trying to get through levels. It definitely makes the feel of these dungeons a lot more unique when you have to potentially wander around different ways to be able to get through.
By the way, Adagino's the first of these runners to have the pairing of the bow and silver arrows, and I want to point this out. We are starting to run out of locations. I believe still have to check the top part of Death Mountain, and I think there's a few other loose spots that we've yet to check, but we are starting to really run out of locations where levels 3 and 6 can be.
Agreed. I mean, I'm trying to, as you said, I'm trying to think about things, and you've got again, some of Death Mountain here. I mean, I don't know if anyone came over here with the grave and had bombs, but otherwise, yeah, we're starting to run low. So, I mean, this is going to be a lot of dungeons in the Death Mountain area, or Power Bracelet or Raft's going to be required. I know that there's level 5 there in the grave area. You'll actually see Isolated get over there very soon as well. But I don't believe, there's that much left. So, I mean, as I said, the Recorder's been checked. The Recorder Lake has been checked. But otherwise, Power Bracelet and maybe the raft spots. I don't know if the raft spots have really been checked. But otherwise,
Raikou just checked the one on the coast.
Okay, so he checked the coast one. So yeah, we're down just to the lake one. But otherwise, that Power Bracelet may actually be required here. That'd be an interesting little twist.
Oh, when did Raikou pick up the? Oh no, never mind. He just went through the take any.
Right. Yeah. As I say, he's in good shape. I mean, he does have the Recorder, but he is hunted through here, and that was a great find for him. He's actually already been over here to level 4. I'm getting my where my level locations are confused on. Never mind that. Yes, Red Ring is located in level 5, so we just had that get picked up nice and easily there. So, and that's also where the magical key is. So level 5 is a great place for our runners tonight to go. You got the magical key and the red ring just laying on the floor there, so that way, once they go in there, clearing the rooms is going to be much easier for them.
Yep. So Krim right now with the red ring, as well as the any key in his arsenal. Raikou Rider back in level 8 wants to finish this dungeon off at this point. He has already seen the floor drop here, which was the heart container. Normally, it's now the Recorder.
Yeah, and that's a nice little side benefit there. When Isolated almost just exited level 7 by accident. That whole thing we were talking about holding the up by default when you enter a dungeon. You can just walk yourself right out of the dungeon now because of the fact that you might even enter from the top of the dungeon. But this is an incredibly awesome little thing here. As Crimson takes the Triforce out of 5, he has everything he can get out of there. He got the floor item, he got the stair item, he's got the Triforce, had an incredibly fast level of 5. And now we'll be heading on to, looks like, explore some of Death Mountain here. Raikou Rider is feeding some Dodongos here and gets the compass, so now he will know where he needs to go in order to get that Triforce.
Yeah, but he's going to continue digging because he's still searching for that silver arrow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really curious at this point where that power bracelet can be, because unless it turns out to be in one of these levels that we haven't seen up here on the top, and Krim is checking the north part of Death Mountain, and I do not think that Adaginos, when he was up here, actually checked this area.
Yeah,
so we
I think he only did a partial dive. Yeah, oh, there's one of the levels.
Yeah, there's level 3.
That's going to be that's a really nice find for Krim here, because if the power bracelet's here, I mean, if the power bracelet's not here, then yeah, I think you can be reasonably sure. I mean, unless it's the one item we're missing out of level 8 at this point. Oh, just a heart container, actually, in the thing here. But if the power bracelet's on the floor in 3, I mean, I guess it could just be that level 6 might just be next door to level 3 there in the open cave, but otherwise you might have to dig level 8 to get the power bracelet out.
That's right, Krim does not have the wand out of 2. In fact, Krim has not been to level 2 just yet.
Beautiful pixel placement, though. Got himself just to the point where he's out of the door enough that he can swing his sword, but the enemies cannot actually hit him. So he's able to just stand here and wait for the landmola to come to him to get finished off. Still one of my favorite things to do is, cheesing out, for example, some of the other enemies in the game here just by, clipping onto blocks and waiting. But and we get the map here. What do you think this one is here tonight, Rick?
Something to do with a nail.
See a nail here.
I'm having a hard time placing exactly what that is, but I thought
it almost looks like a one-legged man flexing his muscles, doing his giving us his best metaflex.
Show us the power of your metaflex. And so Krim at this point should know that there's going to be no more push block staircases in level 3.
Right.
We already saw the one that led to the heart container.
Yeah, and he's getting lots of rupee bosses here, though. So that's going to be a quick level for everyone to come through and clear. There's that Goma block we were talking about.
Yeah, Krim can't do anything about it, so he's going to have to come back with arrows.
Yeah, there's no way around that. There is a Goma block in the seed now. That's awesome.
Fred, you always think those Goma blocks are awesome. So it does turn out that level 6 is presumably power bracelet blocked, or on the other raft island.
Yeah, at this point, there's really nothing else. I really need to add something in to require more blocks. I mean, it's fun that they ran. I don't know. I mean, the logic for that probably wouldn't be too bad to add, so I could potentially add that in here.
You'd like to see more of these crazy, get this, get this, get this, get this. Oh, no. Guess what? You need this too.
No comment officially, because I don't want people to come and lynch me when they find out my actual answer, so we'll just refrain from comment.
If you really want to comment, go to twitch.tv/fcoughlin anytime he does coding with Fred.
Yeah, as I said, the whole point of the whole way that this side entrance to the dungeons was found in the first place came truly from someone mentioning something in chat there. And I said, I started to think about it and said, that's actually not so bad to code. And a couple of iterations later in the same night, we had something that was 94% complete. I think the only two things we had happen were an accidental case of someone spawning in the middle of the forest down near level 8 at the start of the game, and therefore not being able to do anything. And there was a minor little detail at times where some dungeons had 2 maps in them and some had none. But most of that stuff's been taken care of at this point.
But I don't get where that's a problem. I mean... Wouldn't it be fun to be disguising yourself with the trees?
You think so? The problem is the princess just gets a little bit bored. She would have to come with her red candle to burn you out of there, and at that point, you're kind of defeating the purpose of trying to go save her.
I'm sorry, but she deserves it after the way she's treated me sometimes.
Fair enough. We got HN here in level 3, so we're going to find out what's behind this Goma block here soon.
Yeah, he's the only one who can be able to do that in regards to the silver arrow aspect, but Isolated can do that too. He has the wood arrows.
Yeah, Isolated bought the wood arrows, so he can just come through here and hopefully get through as well. He's just going to have to eventually make that play to West Death Mountain to find level 7 and get the silvers, which Krim will hopefully find reasonably soon here. I think once he gets the map, he'll find those silvers almost right away. Isolated using the safety strats as well here with the landmole. It's a great, it's a great little strategy to keep in mind because you can just hide in the doorway there and they will not get you at all.
There's your Pold's voice, by the way.
Oh, sweet. I was hoping they'd show up here soon. Oh, and this is interesting. HN grabbed that Triforce and running. I didn't see him grab a heart container or anything off the floor.
He didn't.
Did you catch him?
No, he didn't. The only other
See
room
what
he
he
went
does here.
into had rupees. Is he going back in? No, he's going to go back over here. He may opt to check this first. Raikou Rider's going to check the level 4 location in Vanilla, and that's not it.
So this is going to be an interesting thing here. Is that what we need to clear in order to get things here or not? We'll have to see what happens here. We might find out with Isolated. My personal gut feeling would have been to keep going through 3 because you've cleared out most of the enemies at that point, but it's also a case of does Tegenos think he's behind? Does he think that he doesn't have a chance to be able to get through? We don't know.
So 11 hearts, not enough for the magical sword. Raikou Rider trying it at 10, and Genos trying it at 11.
And that is a annoying little feature. I don't want you to know what you need in order to get that. I think it's kind of fun just having the surprise of, walk in, take the gamble. Nope, sorry, Charlie, can't quite get there. I know I've had people suggest that. Maybe at some point I'll consider that as part of helpful hints, but I don't know. I just find it to be a little bit more fun. You didn't know that in a vanilla game. You had to figure that out through trial and error.
I agree, actually, on that aspect here. It's a case where the seed never told you, really, hey, you need 5 hearts to pick up that white sword. You just had to master using it, and you could have it. Looks like Isolate is trying to avoid picking that up, because he wants to find that second item here in 3. And it very well could be the power bracelet.
It'll be very interesting if it does turn out to be that power bracelet, because he's also looking for keys too. As I just realized, he hasn't been to level 5 yet. He hasn't found the wonderful red ring or magical key from there. So, of course, the hard thing to tell sometimes if you clear a room. Oh, there's the heart
container. So no, it's not here.
Oh, so it's either, I think at this point, it either has to be buried in 8, or it's the lake spot over here would have been, at the raft would be level 6.
Well, Raikou just checked it.
And it's not there, so yeah, I think our runners are going to have to go back into level 8 and find that missing item. I mean, I'm not sure, I think we've seen almost everything else, but I think it's that one item missing in level 8.
Unless there's something that we're missing at this point.
It could be. I mean, it's possible there's a cave that just no one here has checked, and that somehow, just in the middle of something. And I feel like with the pathing everyone took, I mean, they bombed the coast, they've burned everything down. I think everyone got up to level 2. Did they get up to level 2? I think someone got up to level 2 at least.
Raft and the wand were the 2 items in 2.
Yeah. And I think people got up to the vanilla location there as well. I'm just trying to run through the overworld map and see if there's anything else. Oh, okay, so we've had confirmation that there were 2 heart containers in 8 to go with the recorder we found. So at this point, it's got to be an overworld location we missed then.
Ooh, I think Algernon and Chad might be right, and I don't think anyone has checked this spot yet. I'm not 100% certain of this. Could it be in the northwest of the lake?
Oh, that could be.
No.
Eat the fail horn, telling Isolated where to go get that rupee not the rupee, to get that master sword.
Crim back in 7.
And with the map, that again, assuming he takes the turn. Again, bombs might be a little bit of an issue here. I don't know if there was it looks like he does have to bomb to get over there, but at least there are plenty of them. Oh, Power Bracelet 4. Oh!
Raikou just found it in that very left room underneath the N.
Oh gosh, wow. There you go, folks. I somehow missed that one. And that one little room. Somehow level 4, I said, oh, okay, we know, we saw the heart container or whatever it was, and we were like, oh, okay, it's not there, but yeah, I forgot about the floor item. You know, the whole thing that we added in as part of this feature here.
So Raikou, the first one to get the power bracelet. Everyone else has outed level 4. And that is an interesting here, as Isolated finds and gets into level 5. And Raikou hasn't been to the northwest corner, hasn't been in 7, hasn't been up to the Death Mountain, find 3, but Raikou could be the first one to find where level 6 is.
I think it's highly probable. Looks like he's going to check this spot before he heads up to Death Mountain, so he's actually going to get the best of both worlds here. This is where level 6 ends up being. He's going to be in the money.
Not there, but we get some inconvenience there.
Yeah, well, he'll head up now. He's going to head up to Death Mountain, I think. I think he's at this point, so he'll find levels 3 and 7 up here reasonably soon. And at this point, you know, he's looking for the silver, so he's hopefully going to find, in his case, he'd really be hoping to find 7 first and just take that correct path randomly to get over to the... Take that path over to get the Triforce, because if you take that, as we're seeing right here, you get the silver arrows. But yeah,
so Crim's the second runner to get the bow and silver arrow combo. Raikou Rider dancing around here, but we'll get to level 7 probably in the next couple of minutes.
Yep, I was gonna say he should be there reasonably soon, and as soon as he finds those silver arrows, he has everything he needs. He can blitz the rest of the game. Just needs to get those Triforce pieces at this point. H-Gen here. H-Gen's heading back to 4 now. Oh, 3.
He's
Sorry,
3,
wrong
yeah.
level. Yeah, forgot where my thing was. Right, he didn't get the second item out of here, so we might see him potentially come back. You know, he's going to find, of course, a heart container here. But at this point, he just didn't get the Triforce. Did he get the Triforce out of 5?
He got the Triforce out of 3. He just left the dungeon without
the second item.
Because remember,
so I think, yeah,
that was the big focus point, was the fact that he grabbed it, but no
ran. Yep. So you're right. So I'm trying to figure out here, because if he has a Triforce out of 5 at this point, the only, you know, he's gonna at this point know he's got to go back to 4 to get the power bracelet, because there's really no other place. I think he has determined that. I think he's cleared basically the whole overworld at this point.
There's the red ring for Isolated. Raikou in level 7. 53 minutes in, we are not close to getting into level 9 just yet.
Yeah, we're missing just a little bit here. We know where all the items are we would need to beat the game. We are about 99% certain at this point that we require the power bracelet in order to beat the game, as it appears that Ategenos here has decided, because he's now going to go dig level 4 out.
Yeah, he never got the map. So that doesn't help him at this point. Getting that map would at least show him that one room that is, for him, going to be underneath the letter A in board. That's
right. And as I said, the nice thing is the way that the map algorithm is set up, he should find that map pretty easily here as he's trying to clear things out. The way we've set up that new algorithm for the maps, in levels 1 through 6, It'll require a minimum amount of bombs in order to go find the map, so it should be almost no bombs required to get there, and if you do need a bomb, it's usually very early in the level before you find any other items. Level 7 and 8, going to be a little bit harder to find that map. Level 9, even harder possibly. So we've got that balance in place here, and again, we're going to see if he can find where that map ends up being.
It's, I believe, one room left of this room here. But he doesn't know that there's a room there. Is Raikou right are about to get the silvers? That will complement all of his major items, putting him in Triforce and Go mode.
Exactly. At this point now, as he's running through the dungeons, really the only thing he cares about picking up, and maybe a heart or two if he wants to make a try for the magical sword at, we know it's not at 11, but maybe he wants to make a play for the magical sword, but otherwise, he could be, he's going to just be hunting for that Triforce and then get the heck out of Dodge each time.
Okay, so Adaginos did get the map now. So now he knows what rooms he hasn't been in. There's Raikou getting the Triforce out of 7.
He's in good shape now. He has to find level 3, which we know will be involving him making the East play in Death Mountain, and since he's already up here in Death Mountain, he'll probably make that play unless he runs out of bombs.
Looks like Crim's going back to level 4. Remember, he ended up dying to that Goma, or he died trying to get bombed north of that Goma.
That's right. So, again, with level 4 hit, now the interesting thing will be, will Crim, when he gets the map, will he full clear the rest of the level, or will he nope out as well? We know that it looks like he needs to do that, but whether or not he figures that out on this trip or a future trip, we'll have to see.
Okay, here we go. Adaginos in the room that the power bracelet is. There it is for him.
And he also has now hit Blitz mode. And wow, he's got a lot of hearts. I didn't realize he was already up to 13 hearts. So he actually has a 2/3 chance of getting that Master Sword if he wants to go for it. Sorry, Magical Sword. Use the correct term. Did HN swing down too? Okay, well, it sounds like HN may have tried at 12, so it may be a 50-50 shot then.
So it looks like Adaginos at this point trying to figure out where he wants to whistle to. I think he wants to get close to where all the power bracelet spots are, but fortunately the recorder doesn't really work when you get hit by enemies.
Yeah, and the funny little side effect is actually the recorder itself is an enemy. So the way that things work, the recorder has to be able to hit you, and if you've taken damage, it can't hit you.
All right, 13 hearts, enough for the mags.
Beautiful. So now we're going to be seeing a ton of offense for HN. Raikou has just discovered level 3, so at this point, this is actually a really close race between HN and Raikou. I mean, HN might have a slight lead here, but not by much.
6 is not here. We got more inconveniences.
Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting.
It's got to be the power bracelet northeast of the or considered the Lost Hills.
Yeah, at this point, it's got to be. There's really not any other locations here. I'm trying to go through my head just to see. So I think HN's trying to get himself up there.
We just got confirmation there because of the fact that he just whistled the 5 that he's already got that Triforce. So all he's missing is 6.
Yeah, so that's all he's hunting for right now. So he is in good shape here. Raikou actually will have the advantage. He won't have to go back into this level. Unlike some of the other run.
Looks like Raikou Red are getting ready to head on over down here to the nearest start. Gonna get hit with the door repair challenge here.
The nice thing for him is that, that lack of bombs may have actually helped him a little bit here, because now, he was able to nope out a little bit quicker, and will hopefully now go straight to up to level 6 that way. Well,
He's gonna try Magical Sword first.
Can't blame him at all here. You got 12 hearts. It's, at this point, we know it's actually a 50-50, because I don't know if we've seen the 12 or not.
And it turns out that it is 13.
Oh, geesh. But yeah, so you should see Raikou now heading up to level 6, and now it's just a race of who can go through level 6 fastest and get that, and then who makes the right turns in level 9. We have a race, folks. That's kind of a cruel room, as we see Crimson pick up the wand in too. That's a very cruel room to have the wand in, because you would normally kill everything with the bubble. You'd normally kill everything with the wand, hopefully, there, so that way you could avoid whenever you get hit with the bubbles, but you can't do that.
Alright, here we go with level 6 for both Raikou and for added Genos. And then the search in 9 continues, because, hey, we're not done yet. We gotta find where that princess and Ganon are.
Absolutely. That's an interesting start of the shape. I can't wait to see this map.
If we even see it, because don't forget, we may not even possibly see it.
That's true.
Goma blocks the staircase, though.
Unfortunately, with level 3, they all already have that weaponry in place. But again, this is another case, as we were talking about earlier. They actually have to clear this room now. In earlier versions of the shape algorithm, they didn't have to clear that room, but there could be a drop in those staircase rooms now. This makes life a lot more fun. Oh, there's my map. Oh, gosh.
Oh, my God. Fred, what are you doing to us?
Well, I remember the demon that you normally see in level 7 in vanilla. He apparently has been eating out a little bit too much. He grew up a bit of a gut.
Looks like that demon in 7 merged together with the demon in 6.
Hey, well, it works. Could be their child, I guess.
Are we sure we really want to claim that as our child? There's the Triforce for Genos down the bottom.
Saving us a little bit more awkward conversation, but yes, Genos here is now the first person to collect all 8 Triforce pieces and can now head off to the fun of level 9. He's actually reasonably close to it, too. Convenient placement.
Yeah, just around the corner. As Crim goes ahead and tries the ramp spots, because he just found that ramp in level 2. Is going to find out bad news. Can't get that from here.
Oh, yeah. So we have 8 Gen entering at 103.39 into level 9 here, so hopefully we will get some fun here.
Alright, so we're going to be looking for, and unfortunately we cannot switch over to Genos' audio, but we are going to be hoping to find some information, like perhaps a shutter door that does not open up, like this one here to the right-hand side. That's why he's going to clear out this Patra. We could also find the roar of Ganon. Unfortunately, we're not going to hear it, but if there's a room that goes dark, we'll know that that is him.
Agreed. And you saw Genos here duck into this room. It turns out typically the Patra sound can mask the Ganon roar, so even though he cleared the room and the door opened, he wanted to check that side room just to make sure that Ganon wasn't hiding there. Oh, actually, he must have heard Ganon.
Yeah, he must have heard the audio clip. There's Ganon.
So here we go. So in this case, with the lovely magical sword, he just has to get 4 hits on this lovely little pig. And then we will have bacon, destruction, and maybe some cake if we find the princess.
Alright. So, Genos, the first of these runners to finish off with the pig, and nobody has finished this race just yet. And we're not going to give you any updates about who's finished this race until Genos finishes. For the dramatic purposes, whether or not Genos could actually win this race. 20 plus people in this race, by the way.
Yeah, this is an amazingly nice race to see. It's always fun getting to see the crowd get together for these races, and this is a really fun combination here. Oh boy, those Lennel are a bit annoying.
Extremely annoying.
I need to put more of them in. Oh!
Takes a couple of stone traps to the face and got back to start. Does he go? Raiku's going, unfortunately, the wrong direction. Level 6 at this point.
I think
Doesn't need
he's
that.
kind of okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, as I said, the staircase was up a little bit further north of him, so that there might be. Looks like there might be another path down and around. I mean, we saw how big the level was. He very close.
He took the staircase.
Oh, okay.
So he ended up taking the wrong direction out of the staircase.
He's pretty close here, so I think we're not so. I don't think he's going to be in too bad shape.
Right, he just ended up taking the wrong direction immediately coming out of here. But as we do see Crim turning to whistle, we do see 8-Gen here finding the meat block. Apparently, that's not required
tonight.
Grim back in level 8, hoping to track down the all the items because he's out of spots and he needs to find out where that power bracelet is. There's the Triforce for Raikou Rider.
Here we go. So we're gonna have just a couple of minutes here. Difference between. It looks like it'll be about by the time Raikou gets over there, probably about a 4-minute difference, let's say, between these two. He's taking a recorder path apparently over to. Is he recording to the same screen?
No, he's going to try. He's going to get the magical sword.
Oh, magical sword. Yep, that's good. Great call, actually. Good point. Because yes, that's exactly what you want to do here. You'd want to get that magical sword because that's going to cut your time down level 9 considerably. You don't even know what enemy set is here, but pretty much regardless of what enemy set it is, it's going to give you a significant advantage.
So it looks like Katagino's just hunting down this one little loose nook over here as Scrim ends up finding a heart container. That's not what he needs to see. So there's a magical staircase up to those 2 rooms. Very well possible that that could be the path to her. We don't know just yet.
Agreed. It's going to be a fun potential here. I mean, Zelda herself cannot actually be in a staircase room with these flags. If Ganon's forced, Ganon can't be in the room, but could be pretty darn close here.
So we are looking for a compass, or we're looking for a shutter door that opens up for Adagino's. As Raikou Rider coming into here, he hears the clip. Now, if you notice that little clip, that's that little audible tone that some runners can say they hear to know that Ganon is in the next room.
I still can't quite hear that a lot. Maybe once in a great while it sounds a tiny bit different, but I have a really hard time distinguishing that myself.
So, Adagino's has got plenty of this level 9 figured out so far. It's Crim. As Adagino's gets the hint, and Raikou Rider facing off against Ganon. Adagino's getting the hint that the silver to kill the beast lies elsewhere. I already knew that. We found it in level 7. That's not a shutter door that's opening up, so we know Zelda's not north of that room.
We don't know where exactly she is, but we're limiting this down considerably at this point. It may be a magical staircase, potentially to that top couple of things. Of course, as I say that, okay, we do not have the thing. Every single time I say that, I'm like, I see a staircase room opening up, and I'm like, okay, is that going to be it? Nope.
Alright, Raikou continuing through here. Adagino's, nope, that's not a shutter door that opens up. There's a shutter that shuts behind him. Staircase, and it looks like Adagino's wants to take that staircase and not take any bops from our friend Patra, but Patra says nope, that's not going to end up happening.
Yeah, right now we are truly in a case of anyone can win here. We've got Raikou Rider exploring I think a bunch of ground that 8-Gen may have already seen, but he also potentially could take that left turn at Albuquerque and 8-Gen in a troll room, and a little bit concerning here looking at these 2 runners because that number under the A for both of them is incredibly low. It's going to make life a little bit harder here for them to be able to potentially find where the princess is hiding.
Oh yeah, the number of bombs, which that limits your movement. And Raikou finding, hey, there's a double shutter, but nope, the princess is not in this general area.
You know she's not there. You're not sure where she is though. So at this point, it's almost either the southwest there, I'd say, or possibly the staircase up to one of those top areas, maybe the top right of the top two rooms there.
I'm gonna
Maybe
guess.
a case of taking a stair.
I'm gonna guess the northeast.
I'll go southwest.
Sure, if that's what you want to use for your flights, and go right ahead as Isolated picks up the silver arrows. And these two are in the same room together.
Oh gosh.
Raikou Rider going south. That's not a shutter door that opens.
Yeah, the tension here is amazing. You know, you could go either one. Which way could it be?
It's not going to be that way, and I'm not certain
We
where
actually know
Raikou's
it's not over here because there was a troll staircase that I think HN took us to as well. So at this point, it's one of these staircases. You know, probably either to the northeast, like you're saying, or one of those two top rooms.
That's one of the items. That's the heart container. Well, that's not Raikou needs to see. That is not a staircase for Adaginos. Let's try the other staircase. Or not. Man, looks like Adaginos is trying the staircase but finds the item there. Raikou heading up north.
And Raikou's going to keep walking up here. HN has already walked up in this area, so you're going to see Raikou continue to wander to the northeast here, northwest. Whereas at some point here, you're going to see HN actually take some stairs.
Yeah, you just checked the staircase, the one that was north of where Raikou ended up finishing. Oh, that's not where you want to end up.
Oh, that is a slightly painful stair, but now we've got
Yeah,
bad stuff. It's got to be in the northeast, like you were saying. Now it's got to be up there now.
yep.
Little
There's
too
the
late.
white sword.
It's kind of funny that the white sword ended up there. You know, it tends to be slightly more likely to end up there, but at least in the past it has. It always feels like it's in level 9, but not necessarily so bad now with the fact that there are more hearts diluting the pool. But in this case, it just happened.
Well, again, first one of these two to find where Zelda is going to be the winner of these featured 4. We don't know if anyone else is finished. We're going to keep that a secret to everybody until we have somebody finish on screen for the tension of it all. And Raikou's going to check this. Well, he's going to just head south. I thought he was going to check that room to the north, but really nothing else going on there.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been a staircase, and Adaginos ends up searching it. Raikou's going to go try to do some bombs. He's got to be careful with his bombs, too. Only down to 2, and that does not open up a new wall.
They're both at once. At some point here, I think you're probably going to see one or both of these runners here probably try to force a bomb, because you really don't have a choice at this point. You're going to have to do something, whether it's going to be taking a staircase, whether it's going to be bombing a wall that maybe you haven't bombed, or I guess actually taking the path up here from that push block.
There's the door that opens! But how do you get there?
We know where the room Zelda's in now, but you're right. Can we actually get there? This is beautiful.
Okay, well, we can go north here. We can't bomb to the right, so we can't bomb into her room. We could maybe bomb to this room, but that's the only bomb that Adaginos has. Is he going to try it? Yes, he is, but it does not open up. That's his only bomb. He can't
walk around
here. But he's gonna be confined to the no bomb issue right now. Bomb's an issue, and this is not a friendly enemy set for forcing bombs.
A couple Gibdos maybe, but really.
Oh, and this is a jackpot room that doesn't feel like a jackpot here for Adaginos.
This is beautiful. He's bailing.
He's got to without the bombs in hand, and he knows where he can go to get some extra bombs, perhaps. And there's
Raikou about to
Raikou.
make
He's
the
going to
same
get the same
discovery.
information, but he's probably going to get the same knowledge there too. He does see the shutter door opening up. He goes back into the room. Yes, that is a shutter door that opens, Raikou. That's where she is.
You know what? Actually, might have been something for him to try. That. Oh, he's okay. He's noping out now. So he's gonna try. Yeah, he's gonna go out and get some bombs too.
Yeah.
I almost wonder. Yeah, I almost wonder if clearing that room might have been something to give a quick try to, just to see if maybe the room drop would have been a bomb, and then come back in through the chute there. But
nobody has bombs at this point, as Genos ends up buying some for 50 total rupees. Raikou Rider going into where he knows where there's a bomb shop, goes ahead and buys 2 packages.
So now the race back to level 9. Raikou can whistle back to 6, so they're going to be neck and neck here.
Yeah, here we go. First one to get inside. Get to the princess. Find out how to get to the princess. This is not a resolution just yet.
No, we have a lot of stuff happening here.
Looks like Raikou's trying to find out if there's any good hard droppers at this point, and unfortunately, it turns out no to be the case. Those red Lionels, part of the health drop group, they are not playing nice today. Looks like
we got the landmine, so trying to avoid those, and they are literally side by side here.
Yeah, this is nuts. Both of them with a good complement of bombs. Let's see how both of them end up doing this. Now, don't forget, Raikou had not checked that room to the right of the T room. He could very well be trying that and find himself, nope, can't go that way. Good thing about killing a Panther, once he's dead, he's dead.
Yeah, fortunately, that makes life a little bit easier for them. I know it looks like HN trying to make sure from his map what he can do here. You're going to see Raikou make the attempt to blow the door open in multiple different ways.
You can't blow on a Tootie Toot in order to open the door. It looks like Raikou's having little issues with the bomb or the ladder clip here. Genos now trying to the south. There's not a room that goes that way.
Gosh.
Can't go to the right either.
This is magically staircase blocked. It's magically delicious.
This is definitely not magically delicious for these two runners. They want to save that princess. They want to claim victory here. Krim ending up getting the power bracelet. He's in 6. So much happening with the other 2 runners, and we've been neglecting them, unfortunately. But at this point, this is the Genos and Raikou Rider show.
Yeah, we got, actually, looks like HN's heading up here to try to bomb to, but I think Raikou discovered we can't bomb west out of Ganon's room, so I guess he's probably looking for a staircase here, like this diamond staircase right here, hoping that this will get him one step closer to the northeast there.
Yeah, Raikou finding out that he can't actually do this at this point. Looks like Genos has found a path, though maybe, just maybe, there it is, Genos will win!
And, yeah, he decides to not take the bombs there. He bombed that seed a little bit.
So, let's go ahead and do some makeup work here. Genos does finish the race, but he is not the overall winner. Thurwolf finished this run in 1:11.04 to win this race. Set it up finishing in second, 1:17.59. Genos finished in third, 1:18.51, just ahead of Random Effect 1:19.12.
Whew. What an crazily exciting race here. This has been incredibly tense watching this. I mean, just having to have a magical staircase here. And no, Raikou, that's a black wall there. He can't go that way. And we've had confirmation, actually, that Amazing Toaster is the one who actually got the second place finish.
Yeah, that's right. Amazing Toaster did.
Yeah, Unos did have a finish, but then did an undone, so...
Yeah, so congratulations to Thurwolf on the first time. Genos will decline the interview, but GG to Genos, first place of our restreamers here, as Krim gets the Triforce out of 6.
Now Krim will be making his way, next door here to level 9. We'll see what happens here. Again, Raikou has the advantage because of the sheer amount of coverage, but actually, if depending on the path that you take, this magic staircase to Zelda is like almost next door to Ganon.
It's on the east side. Away. It's on the east side.
So it's very possible, although it looks like Raikou's obeying over here now, but it's very possible you could see Krim, get an incredibly close time here by coming in and taking out Ganon if he goes up there, but he's going the other way, it looks like.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he doesn't go straight to the north, as we do have our 5th place finisher. Yunos does finish 5th place, 120.55. 120.55 for Yunos. So GG to him. And Raikou Rider trying to figure his way out through these extra rooms on the right-hand side. So we have 5 out of 20 finishers so far.
This could be a red herring, though.
Yeah, this could be a room that we don't need to see at this point, as this here is not a push block. So Raikou needs to go to the south from this room. I think he may be on the path. He may soon get there.
There, he did the right bomb. That's good.
Krim finding out that rope is definitely not required, as Raikou Rider goes through the staircase, trying to become the second person to be done on our restream here. And he's on the right path. Takes a turn to the left. Finishing just ahead of him, Captain Green finishes in 6th place, 122.02. And here comes Raikou Rider to finish in 7th place, 122.13.
Incredibly close race here. Just seeing the clumping of these various racers together has been absolutely awesome to see. This is an incredibly good matchup here that we've been seeing, just across the board. Again, a whole bunch of really close times. It comes down to the magic of level 9. You take that right turn early, you're in great shape. Krim's hunting here in level 9 for Ganon and Zelda, and is going to end up going down the rabbit hole, or Patra hole, I guess, if you want to call it that way, here on the left-hand side.
All right, we're going to get Raikou Rider in here in just a moment, as looks like isolated in level 6.
Yeah, he has found level 6. I don't think he got the Triforce out of 8 yet, but it looks like he does. So actually at this point now it's just a case of him finding that Triforce as well and then heading into level 9.
All right, and we welcome in the 2nd place finisher on our restream, the 7th overall Raikou Rider. How about that seed?
I felt like I got really lucky in the first 2/3 of the race, and then level 9 just gave me the runaround. When I saw that that Ganon was super easy to get to, and 25 really good players were not done, I was thinking, wow, Zelda must be a real mess to find. And she was. When I searched all those staircases on the left side of the dungeon, I was getting really confused.
I'm going to tell you one thing about this run, and you're going to want to watch back the final 4 or so minutes, because you and Adiginos were so close. In fact, you were room for room.
Oh, goodness.
He made a ton of ground. He had about I want to say, entering 9, he had about a 3-minute lead or so, but with the exploration that you guys ended up doing, and you both made the call within seconds to abort to go get those bombs, and it just again was really close there, and he just happened to make the correct bomb play, I think, a little bit early on. But that was a beautiful race to watch there.
I knew I had to go back and get bombs when I searched all those staircases on the left side and didn't find anything. Did 8gen have mags?
He did.
It was at 13. I tried it at 10. I tried it at 12. Do you blame me for trying it at 10 with Wood Sword, though?
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that White Sword turned out to be in level 9. Like, this was crazy between the two of you on the search for Zelda. In fact, both of you ended up finding where she was Well, you found out at about the same time that this entire bomb situation turned out to be the case, right? Redbird Grad finishing 8th place, 124.38. And this was an insane 9 where it was a simple 9 if you took the right turn, but if you took the wrong turn, you did exactly what you and Adaginos did. Now, as far as this run was concerned, you were the first one of the runners to find the bow, the first of the runners to find the power bracelet. The power bracelet gave a lot of these runners the complete runaround.
I thought I was actually in huge trouble if the power bracelet didn't wind up being required, because I went into level 4, got the bow pretty quickly, and then I saw the Goma and left until I could get arrow money, because I had a lot of trouble getting money early on in the seed. You might have noticed that I actually gambled a couple of times for hint money.
Yeah, I was just saying, I remember seeing you hit that one early on, and then getting the very lucky hit there to be able to go back, and then of course hit the 2 duds. It will make you feel, if it makes you feel any better, the 3rd hint there wasn't that great. It was technically a helpful hint, but it was that the red candle was in 7, and you kind of discovered that one pretty easily.
Yeah, that was easy to find. But I think one of the big things that catapulted me way ahead in the early game was when I went into 5 and found the red ring and the any key really, really quickly.
Oh, that was a huge start for you. You had those 2 very early, and that helped you out immensely in terms of some of the combat. There were definitely a couple of dungeons there with the Wizrobes that people just immediately noped out of because there was no chance of them being able to get through the combat, and you definitely had a significant advantage there.
That's what I did in... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the one thing that was different was what gave Adaginos a little bit of an advantage was the fact that he found the silvers in 7 quite early. Like, he took the trip up to Death Mountain far before anyone else here of the featured 4 ended up doing that. Chester finishing 9th place, 126.23.
And just for the featured restream, we do have Isolated now with his 8th and final Triforce. So he's going to be heading into level 9, and depending on the pathing he takes, he may get a slight advantage over Krim. Krim having explored a lot of the left side of the level, but he did not go north far enough. He didn't end up bombing north, so he has not yet seen Ganon. So this could actually be a very interesting seed here, depending on what Isolated does here on the right-hand side.
And as you mentioned that, we do now have our 10th place finisher of this group, Zeb Genny, finishing in 10th place, 127.58.
I have to say, there are a ton of players here who have put up some incredibly impressive times, considering the fact that the power bracelet was on the floor in level 4, pretty much in a spot you weren't going to look at without the map. That you have the bow in, or not the bow, but you then have to use that power bracelet to get to level 6, so you pretty much had everyone full clearing the overworld. And then on top of that, this level 9 with the hidden staircase. These players have all done a great job. Make sure everyone out there, give follows to all these runners that you're seeing here on the stream, because they are all putting in incredibly hard work and technically high skill, as we get a beautiful kill by Isolated there to get the Triforce.
As Krim continues to explore the left-hand side, he needs to go back up the right side. Isolated ending up going over to the right, and he could end up having the fastest level of all the rest of us, but he nopes out of that room, so he's gonna go search the left side, so he'll be a little while.
The amount of Wizrobe dungeons in the seed in general was ridiculous. At least you could despawn most of them, and there weren't any just awful Wizrobe rooms, but I know when I went into 8, I found the recorder and just left immediately. I did not like that dungeon at all.
Yeah, that was a good find.
That was an annoying, there were a lot of Wizards, and we were actually commenting towards the very end. It was like, oh wait, we haven't seen a Pole's voice at all yet, and they just turned out to be in the last couple of dungeons that everyone found. But
I think it was just in 6 and 9.
Yeah, I think so. And of course, Isolated being kind and actually feeding that one rope. Everyone else just ignored the rope. No one else feeds the ropes, but Isolated taking care of it.
I never bought meat in that seed because I was a little tight on money for most of the seed until I found the 300 secrets. I found all 3 of those 100 secrets super late, and when I saw all the Wizrobe dungeons, I was getting extremely worried about not having blue ring money until I stumbled into the level 5. And the red ring and the any key, neither of those items in level 5 were terribly easy to find either.
No.
By the way, just want to point this out. Pole's Voice were also in level 3, but you had to go south of the Room of the Triforce. And how about that Goma block in 3?
That's as soon as I saw, as soon as I had the bow from 4 and I saw that 4 was likely a bow blocked, I was going to buy wood arrows as soon as I had money. And that's what I ended up doing. I think I whistled to... I can't remember what... I think I might have whistled to... No, I up-A'd and bought them. Because, I tell you what, overworld routing was really, really important in the seed. Because you had a pretty nice spread on the take any roads, including one that was at start, and you had a lot of dungeons in really strategic locations. So if you got that recorder early, you could save a lot of time navigating the overworld.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have 2 more finishers here on the screens or behind the scenes of our featured 4. We had Sea Falcon finishing 11th place, 1:30.01.
GG, Bobby.
In 12th place, we had Shaddy finishing 12th, 1:31.07. And, this is one of those kind of runs here. If you found the right thing in the right item, this seemed like a very, not an easy seed, but it was a better seed than what it would have been for people who found the wrong stuff in the wrong order. Here, as we do have Maligord finishing 13th place, 1:31.38 of this field of over 20 runners.
This was definitely a right order seed, I will say that. If you got it was really how early did you find bow, how early did you find power bracelet, and because of level 4 being all the way in the bottom left corner, and you're very unlikely to have arrows by the time you come there, because of where the silver arrows and level 7 were located, it really just all came down to how quickly were you able to get the bow out of level 4, and depending on the money situation you were in, did you have the foresight to buy wood arrows? Because although wooden arrows were not strictly required in the seed, I don't believe, you had to, there was a lot of tomfoolery you would have to go through to get the silver arrows without the bow, I believe. I don't think there was an arrow blocking silvers in 7.
No, you didn't need to have arrows to get to the silvers.
I didn't think so, but it was much, much faster if you just bought wood arrows from the shop, even though they were 100 friggin' rupees.
Oh yeah, no, they were very expensive. But fortunately, at least the large secrets were good. I mean, you found them at the end, but they were definitely helpful for that aspect of things. And Krim actually has heard Ganon, but he's currently out of bombs, and he's going to get he actually just found the compass. So he now knows where Zelda is, and assuming he heard Ganon here, I think he's just really hunting for bombs because he doesn't know exactly, he's pretty much out of money. Not out of money, out of bombs at this point. Everyone's had problems with the bombs here in level 9. Isolated is also completely out of bombs.
And you needed to have the bombs in order to find the staircase. So, Raikou, just to kind of ask this question, what's your thoughts about these new beta features that Fred put in?
As far as putting them in the next tournament, I would highly recommend only having Heart Shuffle on for brackets, not for Swiss, because when you have Heart Shuffle on, you have to do significantly more combat than you do without Heart Shuffle, because as soon as you find, say, the compass, you do not have to clear any more rooms. But I'm a firm believer that when you have Heart Shuffle on, seed time or completion times increase quite a bit, and you saw it with this seed, just with the finishing times being much higher than you would normally expect. I definitely think that the Heart Shuffle is extremely fun. It's just it's a setting for more advanced players. But as far as the dungeon entrances go, I am a huge fan of having the side that you can enter the dungeon on, and just the dungeon entrance position. I am a huge fan of that.
Yeah, this is definitely something that increases your need to combat, because there's nothing going to be. You're not always going to have everything be free. Like, for instance, both items in 2 required combat. Both, I believe. I'm just trying to remember really fast about this seed. Yeah, the power bracelet that you needed to beat the game did require combat.
And that's the biggest reason, because when you're in a dungeon, as soon as you find that compass, and as soon as you find you have the any key and you find the compass, as long as you don't have any floor items in that dungeon, you can just go straight to the Triforce room. You don't need to clear rooms. But with the Heart Shuffle on, you're going to need to clear pretty much every room that you see until you're in go mode.
Yeah, and that's
Same
the
time,
thing.
there's
That's
some
the
balance. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I said that's the thing, though, is that, you can't just walk through all the dungeons and just pick up Triforce after Triforce. As Crim finally finds where the pig turns out to be.
I understand that, and it's definitely a fun feature if you're skilled enough at the game that you can be comfortable with some really difficult combat. But like I said, I would only like to see Heart Shuffle on for brackets for the next tournament.
Definitely appreciate the feedback there.
Yeah, we'll see how things go with the regards to the features. I mean, this is still obviously a beta thing, but you said you're enjoying it, which is the ultimate question here. Crim's gonna have to be careful. Good, he does have a move potion.
But as far as the dungeon entrances go, the reason why I like it so much is having the dungeon entrance anywhere in the dungeon as opposed to just on the bottom row completely changes your need to explore. And I think it's going to be very interesting to especially do vanilla shapes with the random dungeon entrance, just because it'll completely change which dungeons are terrible to explore. Like say 1Q6. 1Q6 can be really ugly.
Yeah, this level 6 was definitely on the ugly ladder.
Oh, that level 6 was horrible. I was actually starting to think what was taking so long. I figured it was either level 6 was a mess, and level 6 was a mess. The Triforce was absolutely BURIED buried. But level 9, I felt I got somewhat lucky in level 9, because after I found Ganon, I found where Zelda was relatively quickly, and that gave me the clue to start taking staircases.
Agreed. And we just had Crim finish as well, so just to get that out there, we do have an official time for Crim coming in at a 137.53 in 15th place, just behind Antlers at 137.42, and Zarnax coming in
just right now, 1:38.14.
These are very strong times for the seed. You're not going to have too many seeds. You're not going to have too many times around the 110 area on these flags, except for the most skilled runners, just because it kind of turns into, with the Heart Shuffle, it kind of turns closer to like the Link to the Past randomizer method of searching for items, where you just want to be as thorough as possible and not leave anything behind.
Yeah, like for instance, 3 of the 4 runners went through level 4, and they had to go back later because they did not pull out the power bracelet early enough.
I had a inkling about that, where because with adding 8 items to the pool, that increases the item pool size by 50%. So you'll see a lot fewer runners gambling on 9 immediately, just because it's something you don't want to do, just because you'll tend to have more items that are outstanding when you get there.
Looks like Isolated is still buried on the thought that the entrance to her room is via the left side.
Oh yeah, I was very confused. Just when I found where Zelda was, I bombed probably all around that place after I went back to get them, and I just could not find. I was thinking it was a bomb hole after I took all those staircases, and it did wind up being a south-facing bomb hole. And I think that's going to be another thing with the shuffled dungeons, or the shuffled start room, that people are going to need to realize they need to bomb south-facing bomb holes more. I've noticed that, especially pre-dungeon start room shuffle, that south-facing bomb holes will trip up more players than anything else in the game, just inexplicably. People forget that bombing south is something you can do.
Yeah, I think people are sure. People will get used to this the more that they go ahead and play this. Obviously, this is still only a component that is a couple of weeks old now at this point, Fred.
Fred had to step away for a little bit, but I definitely agree with it'll take getting used to. But even before this was a thing, people forgot about, say, just trying for bomb holes going south, especially when you're in the lower half of the dungeon. I mean, if you have to bomb to the bottom row or to the left row, it's always going to be trolly, but it trips people up longer than it should.
And we go ahead and see Jay Wade finishing in 18th, 141.12. Boletta finishing 19th, 141.23. And it looks like Isolated could be on the path to getting her free right now. Heading through the room, and there we go. And the last of our 4 featured runners, Isolated, coming in. A time of 1:42.01. Get your GGs out for all of these runners.
GG Isolated. Like, this seed was tough.
So any closing words, Raikou?